Alright, hello everyone, it's Happy, and today we're going to be talking about the 5 best tech tree lines you guys can grind in World of Tanks Blitz. Now this video is appealing to newer players as well as older players, just because of the fact that I know not all tier 10 tanks have been researched by you guys, and if you have, you may still want to check this video out to see if you agree or disagree with my list. Now this list is made primarily by the fact that all the tanks in the tech tree line are more or less comfortable and they're good to play with. So it's not just based on the tier 10 tank, but rather your whole journey from tier 6/7 all the way to tier 10 to make your grind a lot more enjoyable compared to running around in a goddamn T95. But without a further ado, I'm going to be starting off with the list, and at number 1, the best tech tree line in the whole game by far is literally going to be the E100, just because of the fact that all the tanks in the tech tree line are just amazing. We start off with a VK at tier 6, it's very well armored, the gun is amazing for its tier, and it's just a very fun little tank to play with at tier 6. And it's a heavy, of course, and the armor is very good for its tier. Now moving along, we have the Tiger 1 at tier 7, an iconic World War II tank, and a lot of people are really going to enjoy this tank because of the DPM. The gun is very accurate, the armor is mediocre, it's not bad, it's not great, but it's still very comfortable to play with, and the speed is very good on the tank. So overall, a solid tank at tier 7, at least from the tech tree perspective. Of course, at tier 8, we have the King Tiger or the Tiger 2, and it's a monster at tier 8 with the immense armor it has, as well as the very accurate long 88mm gun it has for tier 8, and overall a very solid heavy tank for tier 8. At tier 9, we have the E75, almost a copy of the Tiger 2 at tier 8. And here, it's one of the best heavies at tier 9, at least in my opinion. It's got some solid armor, the gun is very nice, at least for tier 9. Of course, the mouse has the same gun as the E75, but don't forget that the E75 meets tier 8, while the mouse doesn't. So overall, the E75 is a solid tank, and you get the E100 at tier 10, which is by far one of the best heavy tanks in the game for newer players. Let me explain why. It's going to teach you how to cover your turret, how to angle properly. On top of that, the alpha is 640. With HE, it's up to 1200. Overall, the grind is going to be fun, and the experience with the E100 is also going to be very fun. So I'm going to put the E100 at number 1. It's just a solid tank overall. Now at number 2, I'm going to be putting the Object 268 tech tree line because of its universality. The Object 268 is one of the best TDs in the game. It has a great gun, great mobility, decent armor, and very good camo, making it one of the best TDs in the whole game. On top of that, the whole tech tree line is insane. You have the SU-100 with the 122mm gun, and then you have the SU-152, just pure fun at tier 7. Then you obviously have the ISU with the BL10 at tier 8. It's just terrifying. Even tier 10s are scared. The reason why tier 8s don't match with tier 10s is simply because the BL10 is way too scary and all the tier 10s are scared of it. Simple as this. And at tier 9, you have the Object 704, another very formidable tank. And overall, they are very well balanced. They're not OP, but they're very comfortable to play with, and they do all their roles amazingly. So this is why I'm going to be putting the Object 268 at number 2. At number 3, I'm going to be putting the E5 tech tree line as another heavy line. Why? Because the E5 is a very formidable tank at tier 10. It's an American heavy at tier 10. Of course, it got nerfed recently, but it's still very decent. It's not the best, but it's decent. Overall, the DPM is okay, the armor is okay, it's mediocre at everything pretty much, but the tech tree line itself is quite comfortable to go through. You have the M6 with a very nice armor. At tier 7 you have the T29 with the gun depression and the solid turret. Then you have the T32, not the best but also not the worst. And at tier 9 you have the M103 that's going to teach you a lot about how to play the E5. And at tier 10 you have the E5 itself. It's overall a mediocre tank, but it's not bad, but it's not great. So it's somewhere in the middle. It's quite well balanced is all I'm going to say about it. Next up at number 4, I'm going to be putting the IS-7 tech tree line. This is simply purely for beginners because this is what most people go for. They need something Soviet, something fast, big alpha, and really good armor, and that's the IS-7. Insane armor, especially on the sides and the turret. Big alpha for its caliber, 460. A very fast tank, and overall the tech tree line is quite it's manageable. You have the IS-2 at tier 7, solid tank, an IS-3 with insane side armor at tier 8, and at tier 9 you have the IS-8 that's going to more or less teach you how to play on the IS-7. Overall the tech tree isn't the best, but it's still very, very comfortable compared to others. For example, again, the E3 tech tree line is horrendous. And the IS-7 is a solid tank for newer players. If you have the E100, go for the IS-7 because it will not disappoint you. And lastly, this is for my players who are already decent at the game. If you're brand new, never go for the AMX 50B. But you guys already know what I'm going to be talking about because I just said it. But obviously, the AMX 50B tech tree line is also very, very solid. You obviously have a lot of good tanks in the tech tree, like the ARL at tier 6, one of the best tier 6 heavies in the game. And then you have the tier 7 garbage, which I'm not going to be talking about. But tier 8, the both AMXs at tier 8 and 9 are very, very solid, and they are good heavy tanks, and they're going to teach you how to play this beast, because the AMX 50B really is one of the best drum tanks in the game. It has decent armor. Obviously it's not the best, it's quite weak, but it will still ricochet. The speed is the best thing about this, and the drum itself, mwah, the gun is superb, and you'll like everything about this tank if you already know how to play. But this is my top 5 list for the best tech trees in the whole game. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section below. But with that, happy is out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.